Coach Norvell didn't seem to agree with the face mask penalty on the one punt coverage. But he also had the hold on the other punt. What happened there? That group doesn't seem like they've had that kind of problem.
No. You know, a little bit, I think, confusion of the look for the guys on the shield. It was Malachi Menzer who got the penalty. I think as he looked at who thought he was responsible for, he and one of the other guys was on a different page, so it kind of caught him by surprise, and he didn't have great leverage on it. I don't think the hold was necessary, but it was more of a reaction of seeing his guy late and then kind of just reaching out for it. Can't have that happen, obviously. It was a big punt. I think it probably would have been a career long for Alex, which would have set up field position for us. Obviously, that changed that. But yeah, inexcusable in terms of how that situation played out.
Aslan?
Can you talk about, I guess, philosophy when it comes to creating a safety and then that ensuing kickoff? Are upbacks given kind of like a hard and fast rule when it comes to fielding the ball? Like, was there something there maybe because I could have exploited on that sort of kick?
Yeah, so in terms of the first question was about the safety, creating safety. Yeah, we had on that we had a block set up and we're able to at least give the look of enough pressure to force a safety, which was a positive. On the ensuing kickoff, we always have a return set. There are some weeks where we will have what we call a sky return, which is off of a kick that goes to the other side of the field. If that's something that our opponent has a high tendency of doing. That wasn't something SMU had done, a lot going into it. They really hadn't done any of it going into it. So we did not carry a sky return this week. So when the ball gets kicked over there in terms of what the return that we had set up was, we had no leverage in our drop. So anything Keziah was going to get was going to be on his own. And typically the rule of thumb is fair catch those situations.
Jordan?
Coach, the kickoff return game looked last couple of weeks at getting close with Deuce and obviously regressed this past weekend. What have you seen in that situation?
Well, I think I actually still think that unit is pretty close to being very productive. But like on a kickoff return, typically it comes down to everybody getting their block, and we've gotten to the place where we'll put on the film and there's 9 or there's 10 guys that all are in the right place, and one guy gets beat, and that's what happens, But I think we're a lot closer than people probably realize in terms of breaking one with that unit, and given the right opportunity and great execution, we will.
Brendan?
2 questions. One on kickoff return. Do you seem to go horizontal on a play? Is that by design, or is that just?
That was a reaction. There was color flashed in his face, meaning someone got beat on their block and he made a reactionary movement. That was not as on Deuce as we missed somebody up in front of him.
And then Aaron Hester played probably his largest role this season. I guess, how did you assess his play? Is there potential for him to keep building on that?
Yeah, I just saw Aaron actually a few minutes ago, and I was pleased with how he went in there and played. I thought he was physical in the run game. I thought he executed his assignments, and it could create some opportunity for him to play more. When he got in the game, it was mostly run game that he was dealing with, but I do think he could be one of those guys that has the potential to provide some physicality and a spark, and I was pleased with his first real action and how he went in there and handled himself.
Ira?
I think it might have been Coach Atkins. So it was the other side of the ball, but you guys on the same staff. He made a comment about handling success of the week before, and it seemed like obviously the defensive front had been playing so well these last couple weeks. Did you feel like they maintained that, or do you feel like they let something slip after the success the last couple weeks?
No, I mean, speaking for myself, I thought we had a good week of practice. I thought the guys had the right mindset. I thought the focus going out there early. I thought the meetings, the walkthroughs, everything that led up to it was the guys were on point. So I had no feeling or indication that we were going to go out and do anything other than be at our best on Saturday night.
Aslan?
Does Cade Klubnik's athleticism, does that fall on par in terms of the discipline you guys have to have when you're going up against a guy like Castellanos from Boston College, or is it kind of a different level of responsibility you guys will have against him?
know, there's some similarities from an athleticism standpoint. I think, you know, there is the quarterback design run game element, and from that standpoint, we saw some of that from Clemson a year ago, and in that respect, there's some similarities to Castellanos or someone like that. But where I also think Cade does a really good job is in kind of the improvise, the quarterback scrambles, getting out of the pocket. You know, because they do have so many routes that go down the field, that does create space. So there's a lot of responsibility on the defensive front to make sure that we're very disciplined in our rush lanes and that we're able to keep him in the pocket and limit any scramble opportunities.
Ira?
Also, just kind of from a big picture standpoint, when the team is struggling, the way this team is struggling, do you spend more time like watching guys to see how they're responding and their approach to meetings, or has that been a concern at all?
It hasn't been a concern to this point in terms of how guys are approaching the meetings or the practice field, and really within the walls of the program, I think all I've seen from our players is the desire to get it right, to get it fixed. You know, there has been nothing that I've witnessed that is negative, or I haven't heard guys talking about other position groups or other sides of ball or whatever the case might be. None of that has showed up. And, you know, obviously you're always on guard to make sure that you stay unified and you stay together. But our guys have come to work. Yesterday they came back to work. I think they want to get it fixed more than anybody, you know, and, you know, that I think they understand that the only way to do that is continued work and continued improvement. And, you know, that's what we're going to go set out to do this week.
All good? Okay, thanks, David.
Thanks,